Hola a todos! Today we're going to be talking about how to conjugate AR verbs. If you're interested in knowing what an AR verb is, please see the video on verbs and infinitives in Spanish. Okay, so to conjugate AR verbs, we need to remember that in Spanish, we can't just write sentences with infinitives, because it would be kind of funny if you heard somebody say, you to eat the apple, or you to eat the apple, or I to eat the apple, or we to eat the apple. That doesn't really sound right. So what we do in English is we say, you eat the apple, or he eats the apple. Okay, so that verb changes based on the subject. So to avoid the issue of this being kind of funny, we conjugate infinitives in a sentence. By conjugate, we mean change the infinitive ending so that it matches the subject. Okay? So remember that infinitives, just from the last video, quick overview, the infinitives in Spanish end with AR, ER, or IR, and when you translate the infinitive, it means to something. So hablar is to speak, comer is to eat, escribir is to write. So when we're going to be conjugating, we're actually going to be changing these endings to fit the subject. Alright. So we need to talk about subjects in Spanish before we can conjugate. The I form in Spanish is yo. The tu form in Spanish is tú. Okay, that is the informal you that you would use when you talk to your friends, when you are hanging out with buddies, just very informal conversation. He, she, or you formal is él, ella, usted. We is nosotros, and they or you all plural is ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay, ellos is for they as in all boys, ellas is for they as in all girls, and ustedes is the plural form of you, all. So, what we do with these subjects is we have them, and we need a verb to go along with them that correctly matches the subject. So, for AR verb endings, there are two steps. First, we remove the AR ending from the infinitive. Then we choose the correct subject and we add the following endings depending on which subject you choose. So for the yo form, you add o for an AR ending. For the tu form, you add as for AR ending verbs. For he, she, él, ella, usted, you add a for AR ending verbs. For nosotros, we add amos, and for ellos, ellas, ustedes, you add an. Alright, so let's look at an example. Hablar is an AR ending verb. It ends in AR. So, to conjugate hablar, or to put it correctly with all of the subjects, we want to remove the AR and add the correct ending. Okay, so hablar goes to habl, then you want to add the correct ending. So for the yo form, you add the o, it's hablo, I speak. Tú hablas, you speak. Él, ella, usted habla, he or she speaks. Nosotros hablamos, we speak. And ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan, they speak. So notice how the ending of all of the hablars changes depending on the subject. Alright, now it's your turn to conjugate the following verbs in the yo form only. Okay, hopefully you went through, you remembered that your endings are as follows for AR verbs. You remove the AR, you add an O for the yo form, I speak. Perfecto. For tomar, you remove the AR, you add O, tomo, I take. Very good. In ayudar, you remove the AR and add the O, ayudo, I help. Okay, now's your turn to practice the following AR verbs in different subjects. So for adorar, which means to adore, do the yo and tu form. For bailar, which means to dance, do Lola and nosotros. Note that Lola can also be the same as he or she. And for adaptar, to adapt, use ellos and Marco y Paco for your subjects. You can use the AR endings right here as you need. Remember, you're just removing the AR and adding the correct ending. Okay, here you go. You can check your answers. Notice that all you do is you take off the AR, you add the correct ending. Okay, so double check your work, go through the video again, make sure you understand how to conjugate AR verbs, and let me know if you have any questions. Buen hecho, chicos, y hasta luego.